welcome to Morning Mumblings and Me. Guess what? It's official. I've uploaded my first video. I've uploaded my first Morning Mumblings. It may have taken me since January to do so, but I have done it. So it's out there. Need to do a few bits. Need to put a description and stuff in. And that might be stuff that I get used to editing at the time. But yeah, I did it. Put it on YouTube. Feels quite good. Scary at the same time. Prepared to have negative comments. However, I'm a firm believer that if you haven't got something nice to say, don't say it. So hopefully, if anyone ever does watch any of these, they might go, do you know what? It's not for me, but I'm not going to say anything. I'll view it, leave halfway through. Maybe not even that. Do a minute. Maybe not even that. Just completely get bored. But don't have to say horrible comments. Yeah, I've got no script. It is unedited, really. I think put the two videos together because I got a phone call off Rob yesterday to let me know that he got to work all right, and that interrupted the recording. So that's it. That's what I did. I just put them together. I sort of skimmed through, listened, added the captions just in case my accent, which isn't northern, isn't southern, got a bit of a twang though, if anyone can ever guess. It will probably come out eventually where I'm from. So yeah, it's out there. So I'm hoping that the angle that I've decided to record at today will be more suitable. Maybe not give too much of my location away, just in case I do get famous. No, seriously, I'm kidding. I don't expect to have people knocking at my door. Like I've said yesterday, and I said in all those ones before that no one listened to because I didn't share them with anyone. This isn't a way to earn money. This isn't a way to become famous or anything like that. This is just me thinking of ways to help myself. And then, do you know what? If anything that I say then helps someone else at any point in their journey and whatever path they're on, then that's great. That is the aim. To make sure I'm doing something that makes things that make me feel good, no matter how much hard work it is. And life is hard work at the moment. At 40, did I think that I would, how do I put it, be struggling financially? Absolutely not. When I've got a full-time job, I did not expect it. However, I'm very lucky in many ways that other people aren't. I have a roof over my head, I have a job, I have food in my cupboards. And yes, Easter got me down because I was unable to do much, and there's not going to be much done for the rest of the month really. However, I've got things in motion to try and make things a little bit easier. Some things have already sort of helped. Over Easter I have how can I say, decluttered. And it sounds awful, I haven't necessarily taken my things to a charity shop. Some of my things are brand new with tags, and I have started putting those on eBay/Vinted. They're another video that for those, because I've had a 5-day ban from Vinted, and eBay has decided that I'm a business, so I need to come up with some postage policies and everything like that before I can put any more items on. And as technical as I am, I'm maybe not as technical as other people that I know. So I have struggled a little bit with my eBay one. My Vinted one, I looked over the rules and I went, okay, understood. Hopefully they'll give me my access back shortly and I can start selling items again. But ultimately, between the two at the moment, I did start in January. I started with some of these items in January, and they were very slow initially, and then I've managed to get some sales, I think, between February and I had some more recently. So the ones that have sort of happened recently were Vinted ones, the big ones I've had on Vinted, and then got excited and uploaded too many things on Vinted at one go. So I got the ban. But again, I'm not on there to make a shit ton of money. I just want to make, sorry for my language, I don't really swear. But I'm not on there to make loads of money. I love my job, love what I do, and it proved it yesterday. It was great to be back at work with the girls yesterday, but I also need that boost. I work hard, I do a lot of hours. Like, I was in a meeting yesterday, so people think school life is 9 till 5. I don't think that's even the case for 9 till 3, sorry. That's not even the case for teachers. They don't work 9 till 3. They have to be in from a certain time. And they either stay at school and do the marking, or they take it home and do the marking. So yes, they might be able to leave work at 3 o'clock or whatever, but they will be taking work home with them. I'm not saying every day, but some days or weekends they'll be doing that. If they don't take it home, they'll be staying later at work to do it, or coming in earlier. Yeah, my job is not 9 till 3. It's not 9 till 5. It's whenever it's needed till, really. Yes, there are some perks to it, and obviously for lots of people that go, oh, you've got 13 weeks off a year. Ultimately, I don't need those 13 weeks off a year, but they're handy for various reasons, which I'll go into another time. But financially, it's crippling me, and I thought at 40 I would not be in this situation. At 20, I was like, yeah, I'm going to grow up a little bit now. Had my teenage years as a rep. Mid-20s to sort of mid-30s weren't a good time for me. But I worked. But yeah, it wasn't a great time for me. And then I want to say since 2021, when I started working at the school full time, things just looked so much better. I was like, yes, I've got a full-time job that I'm really happy with, and I could see a career. But unfortunately, as the world gets more expensive, my wages just, and it's not just my wages, it's the other people that I work with, anyone else that's in a student support role in a school, probably, unless they've been in it decades. We get capped to a certain amount. So you can find that once you reach the top of your grade, you can't earn anymore. Now I'm not at that yet, so I don't have to worry. Like, I can go, Joe, what? It will slowly increase, but is it quick enough? I don't know. So I'm selling things on Vinted and eBay, and that's topping up my wages. And right now, in the fuel prices the way they are, both of our vehicles are diesel. Rob travels further than me to work at the moment, so he drives my car and I'm driving the truck, and that's just how it is, and that's fine. I enjoy driving the truck, and ultimately, even though he gets paid, I get paid. We don't have a joint bank account. I say to him all the time that obviously it's our money, it's our bill that we have to be worried about. It's our fact. So yeah, we both have to find money for fuel. We both have to do X, Y, and Z. And I've seen people on Vinted and eBay, and I am on a couple of the groups on Facebook, etc., that where it is sort of like people have made this reselling into a business, and good on them. They've made it into a full-time job. Now, how long that's going to last, I have no idea for these people. And I have thought about it that, I wonder if I made my wages, if I invested a bit of time and whatnot and made my wages within a year of doing this, would it be feasible for me to give up my job? Maybe, but there's nothing saying that I'm gonna then make the same the following year. So right now, whilst I don't have too much pressure because I've got my own job, I do get time where, like, weeks off, half terms, end of terms, summer holidays, where I'm left a bit sort of scuppered on what to do. So yeah, I'm gonna give Vinted and eBay a bash as sort of just not a second income, just a boost. If it pays for my fuel each month, oh my goodness, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. If it means I get to go on holiday and not rely on someone else paying for it, even better. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and you guys will come along. Maybe not on Morning Mumblings and Me, but I'll do other videos if and when those things happen. I have I'm not up to scratch really on maybe doing a huge amount of filming and then editing it, but I might try and get set up next time I get some parcels ready and add that onto one of my videos. Obviously, some things that the majority of the stuff that I've put on eBay and Vinted is things that we found in the house. They're already there. That we already had just sitting there. PlayStation games that no longer are needed because you could just buy it online basically. So you don't need the discs. So they were just gathering dust in Taylor's room. This will be for another morning, but we do go to festivals or have been to festivals, have been to events, and we have dressed up for these. But Rob's like almost 50. Yes, I know what you're saying, I can hear you. Oh my goodness, that's like 9 years difference. Absolutely. It is 9 years difference. I don't notice it that much really, and when you look at us as adults, it's dead easy to forget about age. But yes, he's feeling a little bit old now, and has said that some of the outfits that he would wear are just too heavy. He doesn't get to enjoy the festivals or whatever we do as much. He had initially, I think, hoped to maybe do some reenactment, and he's just like going, haven't got the time for it. The guy works 70 odd hours a week. So yeah, it's, those things have gone up. However, after watching a few videos on the TikToks and the Facebook reels of people reselling, I have done a bit of charity shopping. I have bought a couple of items. That are yet to sell. But they're there. I have learnt that maybe, certainly on Vinted, because of the postage and everything, people aren't looking for high-end, high price items, so you've got to be careful if you go charity shopping. You don't really want to be spending £5 on an item. You've then got to pay for the packaging, and it doesn't matter how you look at it, you're still adding probably an extra 50p onto packaging that item, and that's without your time of adding it onto your selling platform. So are clothes worth it? I don't know. So yeah, I've done a couple of items, and we'll see how we get on with how I get on with those. I've looked at other items that are just generally in our wardrobes, items that I've acquired. I put those on as well. I've told my rugby lads, or I will tell my rugby lads this season, that if they can't look after their own gear, I will share my link to my eBay or my Vinted, and they can buy it back from me. I am fed up of having a car, a truck, a box, a room full of other people's stuff. So that'll be there as senior colts, their time to realise before they get to seniors where they get fines, they'll learn to start looking after their things. But yeah, more recently I acquired some Funko Pops and some other sort of like model toys, as well as a shed load of comics. Had a couple of comics that we already had that I'd got for Taylor years and years ago, that had sold. I thought, oh, saw someone selling the Funko Pops, and I was like, they'll probably sell. And with how many they were selling in this bundle, I thought, Joe, what, even at a certain price, I will still make something from them, all in packaging. The comics, however, that's a lot of work to go through these comics, trying to find, I think there's about 1,000 comics. Some are in absolutely mint great condition, and I have no idea, but I've said to myself that as long as I make the money back that I paid for them, I'm not bothered, because then anything else is a bonus. Like with the comics, because I have chosen to try and protect them further, certainly in postage. I've paid for sort of cellophane clear comic wallets for them. So each individual one will be with one of those, and then when they get posted, they're going to be in those hardback envelopes to do the best that they're not going to then get damaged in the post. So yeah, I'll put a couple of pictures up, or I'll add something to it with my great editing skills. I'm sorry you might not have seen my mouth through this. I did think that I had lowered the steering wheel. I think as I've driven, I've probably slumped down a little bit or come further back, so it's not necessarily worked. But yeah, that's it. I'm not going to share my Vinted. I'm not going to share my eBay accounts. I have seen that on other people's social medias that they might talk about those things, but they don't actually share the accounts. I will maybe share some of the things that I am selling, and then if people are interested, they could maybe look on Vinted or eBay as to see if they want to purchase them. Or if you are into comics, a lot of the comics I've got are 2000 AD comics. So if you happen to be watching this and you're a comic fan, drop me a message. I've got loads, and I'm trying to do them at reasonable prices that cover the costs for me of obviously packaging, cover the costs that I paid for them. So yeah, it's that time, people. I was a little bit later in setting off today. Had a bit of a later started moving. I was later in getting up and moving, because I was quite chilled really. And then as I checked the time with my electronic Alexa, I realised it was time for me to leave, and went downstairs to find that Loki had been unwell, and I'd thrown up all of his breakfast, so I had to deal with that. Anyway, it's Tuesday. Enjoy your Tuesday. If you work Monday to Friday, and even if you're like me and enjoy your job, we only have 3 more get-ups. If you work in a school like me, you came back yesterday, 3 more get-ups and it's the weekend. I hope you all had a great first day back at school. If you are, watching and you do work in a school, I'm here now. It's Tuesday. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and potentially I might actually get people that watch now. This was episode 2 in these morning mumblings. If you haven't watched one before, and I might have more out by the time you watch them, you'll realise why I'm calling them morning mumblings, because I just mumble about whatever's going on in my head. Anyway, have a great day everyone. I've got lots to do, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye bye.